So I need your help really, because I'm thinking of changing my TS-990, but I've got a real problem. I don't know what to buy. So, I mean, I'll just give you a quick run through. I mean, the reason I like this radio, because it is actually enormous, and I like this hugeness about it. Okay, the VFO feels lovely. Yeah, the screen is very nice, although, you know, its refresh rate is still too blooming purple in here, isn't it? Never mind. But there's a couple of niggles, all right? What I like about it is that it's got a very analog sound to it. I love the sound, okay, on the receive. It's just great. Now, I'm not a crazy filter guy. If somebody's right next to me, I can normally suffer it. The only reason I fiddle around with the filters when I'm live streaming is because some people can't suffer that. But I don't know how many QSOs I've had. Well over 100,000, I suppose. And sometimes, you know, particularly on 40 meters in a contest, I've been, you know, right next to a heavy Russian or a German or something. And after a while, my brain tunes him out. As long as I've got the RF gain back and I'm relatively, as long as I can hear what else is going on, that's fine, right? Now, so now they've stopped making the 990. So the niggles I've got, I now know, will never be fixed, okay? And then the particular niggle I've got is when I've got this button here, which is tracking on. Because on the back of this radio, there's 4 SO239s and a single RX receive jack, which means very often I've got on antenna 1 up here, it's the signature 12, okay? And I've got my very long wire on antenna number 2, all right? But I've also got this button here, which is receive, okay? And that forces on here, that forces the receive loop, the little loop. So I'm in the main, I'm running 3 antennas. In my left ear, I'm running my big broadcast transmit antenna. On my right ear, I'm normally running the very, very long wire, which on 40 and 80 is lovely for local stuff, you know, 'cause it's very low to the ground. And then on 20 and up, it's got a lobe going to the US. So I had a little guy with a 100-watt station and his G5RV. In the main, I can hear him, you see, with that on 20, 15, 17, up to 10. And I've done, in fact, my biggest video ever was that one, was that long wire. So what is the problem? The problem really is when I've got tracking on, which means that I'm synced, I press this button here, so if I go off frequency with you know, on my right VFO, go off frequency, and then I want to bring it back, all I do is hit the MS button, in other words, take the main over to the sub, and it goes back to normal, okay? And that's fine. So I'm tracking now exactly my left ear and my right ear. And then somebody comes in who is slightly off frequency. So then what I do is you can hit the RIT, all right, and I can move the RIT, but unfortunately, oh, you can see it here actually on the little one here. Unfortunately, it only moves one ear. So when I've got tracking on, and I can't use the RIT because both ears change. So, I mean, that's the biggest bug for me. And I realise it'll never, ever be fixed. So I was talking to, I think, the support desk on Flex, because I was after maybe the 6600. Because I'm doing a lot of remote control now, and I'm thinking that's maybe more up my street. And I had my niggles, and that was the main one. And yes, you can track both VFOs with the RIT. But there is nothing wrong with this radio. I mean, it just works, right? And when it does come to remote control, I mean, as you've seen on my live streams, I'm remote controlling it fine. I mean, it's a bit archaic where the buttons are, but, you know, I'm used to where the buttons are now in the main, and I can just make it work, right? You know, using the ARCP software, you know, when I do my live streams, I've got a section on the top right of my screen. I can change frequency. I can do everything I want to, change power. It all works. I've got a copy of this screen, which using this. I forget that it's touchscreen. Oh, now when I'm touchscreen, tracking works. That's interesting, but not on the RIT. All right, didn't know that. There's like a lot of these radios. They've got a DVI out now through an HDMI capture card, and I use something called CamDesk 1.3 or something. He stopped developing it years ago, but it still works depending on the graphics card you got. So with an HDMI capture card, I can take this screen and resize it and put it anywhere on my screen. So I've got the whole screen, the scope, I've got my frequency, Vox, I've got my, I use Sonobus. I'll cover that one day with you, but in other words, I can get my audio to the computer here, and it squirts it directly into the back of the radio. So it all works, right? But it's this blooming tracking button. And another thing that I've lost is that I wanted to use an Ethernet port on the back. Now, I can't remember if I haven't done a full reset, but the Ethernet port doesn't work. So, does it matter? Not really, right? But maybe. So what I'm after is this, right? Because this isn't a full review. I mean, it does everything, you would expect it to do. And it's got some lovely functionality, and it's got some beautiful filters. The transmit audio, I think, is fantastic. It's got memories, it's got recording ability, the 2 VFOs, great. So I think I'm probably either into an FT101MP, a 2 VFO radio, but it's got to, when I've got tracking on, the RIT needs to work, and I need a bit of software that drives it properly. The Kenwood ARCB software works very well for me, all right? I can spin the dial by holding my mouse button down and stuff. So if someone from Flex is watching this, get in touch. I'm not after a deal, to be honest. I don't care about the money. Well, I care about money, of course I do. I would like, if I'm going to invest in a Flex, say 6600, I want to, let's have an interview. I'm on YouTube, let's have an interview, why I should buy it. Let's go through, some of my concerns, and you can answer them, and maybe we can have a chat, and the other people on the internet can understand. Then when I get my Flex 6600, I can, refer back to conversations I had with Mr. Flex, whoever he is. So there we are. It's the 990S is fantastic. 200 watts and 2 VFOs, and I love the 2 VFO. I am now addicted to 2 VFOs. Having left ear, one antenna, right ear, the other antenna, the feeling, the spaciousness I get, particularly in a pilot, is fantastic. I'm blessed with this radio should last me 20 years. It's just this blooming RIT button that really annoys the heck out of me. So what else is there on the market? I don't think ICOM have got something like this anymore. They used to. Well, let me know anyway, and in the meantime, what I'll try and do is fix these purple lights. All right, I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.